So today in class we were talking about interpreting our data and just different things that we've got to be able to do. All right, remember this is just a fancy word for analyze. Okay, figure some things out that's not necessarily given to us. So one of the things we might have to do here is determine what percent of the votes, voted for hamburgers, whichever one we want to go with. But if we want to calculate percentages. So again, if we want to deal strictly with the hamburger here, remember that would be 8 out of 37. So we had a random sample of 37 kids here. We just randomly picked 37 kids, asked them their favorite lunch. These are our results. So 8 out of 37. We can use proportions for that. 8 divided by 37, whatever approach you prefer. So we end up with approximately 22% of the kids like hamburger. Okay, pizza then. If we look at our results, since pizza is just doubled, okay, 44% of the votes for pizza. Salad, 9 out of 37. That works out to be approximately 24%, and yogurt works out to be approximately 11%. So there's our totals. So we got to be able to come up with values like that. The other topic for today was our margin of error. All right, and remember, margin of error is equivalent to our absolute deviation, which was what we did the other night for homework. Okay, so if we wanted to calculate our margin of error here for our lunch results, step number 1 would be to calculate our average, which obviously 100% divided by 4. So our average is 25%. So then we need to get our deviations. So this one deviates from the average by 3. This one deviates from the average by 19. This one deviates by 1. And this one deviates by 14. So if we're going to find all 4 deviations, we want to average those as well. 20, 34, 37 divided by 4. So we have a deviation of approximately 9%. 9%. So the question is, if we wanted to say, can we truly say pizza was the favorite 44%? Can we say that pizza was, or actually maybe let's look at it another way. Yogurt only received 11% of the vote. So is yogurt the least favorite of the choices based on this data over here? Well, there's a margin of error of 11%, or excuse me, of 9%. So what that means is we're reporting that yogurt got 11% of the votes. They may have only received as little as 2%, but they might have gotten as much as 20% of the votes. Okay, the hamburger, we're reporting 22%. The hamburger might have gotten as few as 13% of the votes, or as much as 31% of the votes. So now if we look at that, right there's enough for us to say, well, hamburger, worst case scenario, only gets 13%. Yogurt, best case scenario, 20%. So we cannot say that yogurt is the least favorite. Best case, yogurt finishes above hamburger on its worst day. So we could say that it's too close to really say for sure that yogurt is the least favorite. And again, that's based on a margin of error here. All right, and if we keep on going, for the salad, we reported 24%. The salad could have as little as 15% of the votes or as much as 33% of the votes. Pizza got 44% of the votes. They could have as much as 53% of the votes or as little as 35%. Now we can say then pizza is definitely the most favorites, because even on its worst day, even on pizza's worst day, worst case scenario, it is still higher than all three of the other ones on their best days. So we can say without a shadow of a doubt that pizza is definitely the favorite lunch menu item. Okay. So again, that's how we can use our margin of error. All right, is a plus minus, best day, least day. All right, and the other thing you're going to be asked to do is some predicting. Going to have to do some predictions. And when we predict, we got a couple choices if we have percents at our disposal. Okay. We did an interview of 37 people, but if we wanted to do the entire middle school, we're made up of 1,200 students. So if we interviewed everyone, the question is, predict how many students would vote for salad as their favorite lunch menu item. Okay, so if we want to predict how many votes salad will receive, okay, we have a couple techniques here we can use. We obviously know that 24% of the time people vote for salad, so we could simply just do 24% of 1,200. Okay, if we do not have percents at our disposal, if this is all we're being provided with, and we want to make an accurate prediction on how many students would choose salad in a larger group based on our small survey, we have other options. We know that 9 kids out of our 37 chose salad, so we could just create 2 ratios. If we know 9 out of 37, our job is to determine how many that would be out of 1,200. We could build ourselves a proportion. So we have a couple techniques there we can use to predict. Okay, so predicting tonight, margin of error tonight, those are the 2 main topics. Do the best you can on your homework tonight and bring any questions to class tomorrow. Have a good night.